wanted to talk a little bit more about dependence because I ran into a couple of situations the other day in regarding some conversations I had with people. And it made me very enlightened. I had meditated on it because I was asked to pray for them. And I went ahead and I prayed for them. And Spirit told me to relay this message to the community, our community, us, you know. Don't be the type of person who is looking for someone to give them the opportunity that they're looking for. Yeah. Because some people are figuring, okay, I've got this on my mind, I want to do this positive thing, but I know so-and-so can help me. Okay. So-and-so may not be available. So-and-so may not have the same phone number. So-and-so may have a new venture going on where they just don't have time anymore. So-and-so may have gotten married, moved away, passed away. You just don't know. Their life has changed since the last time you communicated because this person presented this opportunity to you before, but you were not in the headspace to receive it. So now that you are in the headspace to receive it and you see the opportunity, you're trying to go back and chase this missed opportunity in hopes that you could pick up where you left off, and you become disappointed and depressed when that person is not around anymore. Now, the majority of people, they'll turn around and go back into their negative headspace because they're thinking, man, I jumped through all these hoops and I went through this and I went through that and I went through this and I went through that, and I'm trying to go back to such and such and such, and I can't get it anymore. Maybe it wasn't meant for you to pick that up. Maybe it wasn't meant for you to deal with that person in regards to picking that up. It's good to have a dream. But sometimes dreams die for a reason. Let me say that again. It's good to have a dream. But sometimes dreams die for a reason. And I think I'm going to title this Dreams Die for a Reason. And it has a lot to do with dependence. You have to be right with yourself and your Creator before you can achieve what you need to achieve and fulfill your purpose. Period. You have to address the unaddressed. And if you don't, if you are able to achieve that goal, it's going to slip through your fingers like sand. If you have not taken care of yourself the way that you should and have not addressed those issues first, whether spiritually, physically, mentally, whatever the case may be, you are not going to receive the blessing and the outcome of that dream that you have in the way that it will be beneficial to you. That dream will turn into a nightmare in a foul swoop. Basic things. Maslowian theory. Check out the video that I talk about Maslow's theory. A theory is something that someone comes up with based on research. I'm sorry, they need to change that from Maslow's theories to Maslow's facts, because it is. When you look at that bottom level, where they talk about food and sex and balance and sleep, the basic physical needs that we need before we get to the second level, it's true. I had been lacking in the areas on the ground level and was trying to go to level 2 and level 3 without addressing level 1, and it always fell apart. Check out the video. Chock full of information. And the hierarchy, aka pyramid, is available on Google. The images are there that outline everything. And if you sit down and really think about it, it makes sense. You got people out here running off to job and school, and they got physical problems. They got sleep problems. They're not adequately nourished, but they're expecting to do a good job and do well in school. Doesn't work. How many commercials have you watched on television where they're trying to promote childhood wellness, that's presented by some board or some school system saying make sure that your child has adequate enough sleep and adequate enough nutrition before they come so they can perform better, how studies have proven that, it's the truth. It applies to work as well. You have to apply your skills and your knowledge in order to perform a task, whether it's in school or work or if you're doing both. And you cannot do that if you are well nourished and if you have not had amount of sleep, because your body is the vessel. There are people that have unaddressed mental and physical issues where they know that they can, if they get a simple checkup, if they get the medications that they need in order to do their work, they will be able to do it well, but they do not do it. And on a regular basis, constantly, they are all over the place. What they're talking about and preaching about all day long on Monday, by the time Saturday rolls around, it's a different story. They're all over the place and not accomplishing a thing. But they want to turn around and try to accomplish some kind of dream with some kind of person. That requires discipline, consistency, and being able to pay attention and listen. And if you have conditions that have not been addressed, guess what? You're not going to be able to do any of those things because your levels are off. I'm talking to somebody today. I know more than one person who is just, I don't know if they're afraid to go to the doctor. I don't understand what it is, but every time they're not feeling well or every time they're acting a little crazy, all of a sudden everybody around them has to suffer. No. And if you're one of those people that's around this person and know that they have these issues and you're still letting them behave that way, set some boundaries. Say, look, okay, either you're going to do X, Y, Z first and we'll get that out of the way, or else you can't be here anymore. Yes, there are times in your life where you've got to put some folks out. They've got to go. Because right before you know it, all of that negative energy that's running through them is going to jump off on you, and all of a sudden you're going to have problems that you didn't have before this person was brought into your house. And I know that they can't help themselves, but if these are unaddressed issues and somebody for some reason is afraid to go ahead and get them addressed, guess what? It's going to be 2 of y'all fucked up in that house. Or 3, or 4, or 5. That's how this works. So if you are seeking a dream, if you have a goal, make sure that you are okay before you pursue it. Make sure you're okay, because I'm going to tell you something, and this sounds very, very cold, but it was given to me to help me wake up a few years ago. Just because you pulled yourself together and you're reaching back for a dream doesn't mean it's going to be available to you, and the people who offered it to you may not want to deal with you. That's just the way it goes, people. I'm sorry. And for some people, when they see that disappointment, they wind up going right back to where they were, which means that the foundation that they were standing on was not that strong to begin with, now was it? They've got more work to do. You've got to take care of yourself, people. I don't know how many times I've heard this over again. I've got people my age that, don't go to the doctor, and they complain about aches and pains, complain about this, that, and the other. I have people who go to the doctor tells them X, Y, Z, and they still don't do it. But then they want X, Y, Z in other areas of their life. And I'm just sitting up there shaking my head, and I said to myself, if y'all just knew the shit that I went through to realize what I realize now. You know how many years that it took for me to realize that? How many years it took for me to realize that half of the things that I even strive for in my life was because I wasn't right? Because I wasn't straight. It had nothing to do with being at the right place at the right time. It had everything to do with me. And when the Spirit saw that I wasn't right, He said, you ain't ready, so I'm not giving it to you. I don't care how much you whine and cry. I'm not giving it to you because you're not right. I'm not giving you access to that resource right now because you are not right. And everything that you try to go for without addressing this, you're only going to have it for a few minutes and you're going to lose it because you're not right. Hard head make a soft ass. That's what my grandmama used to say. And she was right. Now, how many times are you going to keep going for the same thing over and over and over and over and over again in your life when you know deep down you got some issues you got to deal with in yourself and you have them unaddressed and you keep failing all the time? And then some of you have the arrogance to even go to the Creator and blame the Creator and say, oh, you forgot about me and blah. No, I didn't forget about you. You're just not ready. So I say this to say this. Don't depend on past resources to help you fulfill your dream if you didn't take up the opportunity before because it might not be available. You got to learn how to push on. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace.